that's a vibe. She wanna vibe, that's a vibe. Yeah, that's a vibe. It's a vibe, and that's a vibe. Yeah, that's a vibe. Oh, it's a vibe, and that's a vibe.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Manny Hall Show once again. Man, I'm excited I got my dude with me. I ain't seen him in a while.
I know, right?
But
I'm here.
Yeah, for sure. And he's about to tell you about his journey as an entrepreneur, some of the cool things that he's doing right now, maybe some upcoming projects that he's considering doing. But I'm just excited. Tell him who you are for those that don't know.
I'm Stephon Davis, filmmaker and video producer. Been doing it for quite a while now, so I'm just still grinding every day, you know.
For sure. All right, so we're going to get it in, the Manny Hall Show.
All right.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, what's up, man? Glad to be here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Please tell the people your name and what you do.
Stephon Davis. I'm a video producer and a filmmaker.
That's what's up. You know, I'll be honest with you, I was really excited about doing this one. Okay. Just because, you know, the connection that we had back in the day.
Absolutely.
And you always just been a real up and up dude, straight from the hip, like do your thing. And I know that you're going to provide a great deal of information for people to glean from, just like your experience, your journeys. Like it's been phenomenal. You know, it's like you're probably not exactly where you want to be, but like always on the outside looking in, watching you, like this dude is doing this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what a lot of times come to mind when I'm doing interviews and stuff. I get a chance to get out and talk a little bit.
Yeah.
First thing that comes to mind is like I'm not really, like you said, where I want to be yet, but
Right.
I'm enjoying this journey though. So really,
Yeah.
It's been a long ways. Like I'm pretty proud of what I have done and accomplished, but I know there's like so much more I want to get done though. So
Right.
just trying to make sure I stay humble and grateful while I continue going through these motions, you know.
That makes sense. The one thing I don't know is why did you get started?
Years ago, actually, it was just kind of crazy how like
Okay.
I was in high school still, and there's these kids out there, you know, same great as me, but
Yeah.
they were doing this thing. They were shooting an interview with my band instructor. I was in the band playing a little saxophone.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. They over there interviewing the band director and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do something like that. You know, you got the camera, you got the microphone. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope. So I asked them, like, you know, how can y'all do that too? You know, and they was like, well, it's a vocational program. You just got to go across to the other school and just pretty much just do it 2 years and stuff. And I was like, okay, sweet.
Right.
And really from there, it's just been steadily going from there. Really, I haven't looked back. You know, I've dabbled in some things, real estate, various stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I've always had that main focus, really, has still been on that video and that filmmaking and just enjoying all that.
Now, why do you love it so much?
Well, it's funny because like I started out video and I was this is fun, it's cool, it's creative. I love being creative.
Yeah.
But as I developed myself personally in a lot of different ways, I realized that it's more about filmmaking for me. And the reason why filmmaking is so exciting to me is because it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
So I love telling stories visually and just combining like, you know, audio and music and sound and those visual effects and things, just creating something, just blow people away really. And I just want to create that emotional feeling for people really. And so that's actually what I discovered was like I just love to be able to tell a story where it's the emotion that's evoked either through laughter or through sadness or through joy or whatever it is. You know, if I can get people to feel that emotion from what I produce, I just love it.
And I think that that's a blessing. But you know, it's like the challenging part is really getting to that place to say, okay, I love what I'm doing. This is my passion. It's my gift, my purpose. And I don't have to get paid for it because I just love doing it. But at the same time, you got bills to pay.
Yeah.
And then taking money away from the family to do different projects just because you love it so much, you know. That's the challenging part.
Absolutely, and I've been there. Yeah, I think I started out that way, especially when I shifted more to filmmaking.
Yeah.
But then I just realized at the end of the day, man, you know, like you say, it's bills be paid. Yes, this is something I would do for free, but I can't do it for free though.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
At the end of the day, it just don't work that way.
Right,
I wish that was
really
life,
not.
but you know, when you gotta put food on the table and provide for your family and things, it's like you gotta make the moves, the right moves and stuff. And that's really about what I've been focused on a lot these days. Is how can I make sure that the films that I produce and the things that I do are always generating income for me.
That makes sense. So what do you think the most challenging part has been?
So from like an entrepreneurial and a filmmaking perspective, really, when I was doing video production work mainly, it was of course just generating clients and getting that steady business, and that has worked out pretty well. But I think like getting started and being consistent is the difficult part. And then when you talk about filmmaking, it's absolutely just like getting that budget and that funding to finance the movie, and then turn around and get a profit and a sale from that.
And then you know, it's like you think about how many individuals want to be in film, and it's and there's so many different facets and roles, as you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's like somebody might say, okay, I want to be a producer, I want to be a director, I want to be executive producer, I want to be the camera guy, I want to be the makeup artist, I want to do this. And it's like, you can have these lofty goals, but you know, the challenging part for me, honestly, Steph, and it's like, and I think this across the board as an entrepreneur, it's like, you want to break in these different industries, and people might have different ways for you to do it. But for me, it's always like, is this guy's timing for you or not? Because it's like, you can try your best and think of all these creative ways, but it's like, it still might be that door slamming in your face, and it doesn't mean that you weren't good enough.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part, like listening and knowing what God wants for you. Because I think, like, where do you find that? When did you stop? Like, when is it that point where you're like, you're supposed to keep on pushing and keep grinding and things? When is it that point where you're saying, like, you know what, this ain't even what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, so really just kind of listening and getting that guidance and things, and that inner spirit and stuff. That thing that can truly be difficult, because I found myself at that point sometimes thinking like, maybe I should try something else or go a different direction, because it is difficult and things. But at the same time thinking like, maybe it's just difficult and it's a challenge, and I just got to overcome these adversities. You know, so I think, I agree.
And we got to talk about that for a minute, just because it's, for Christians, it's very hard. You know, and I was talking to my wife about it this morning, just like, if we're not Christians and we say, or any kind of believer, for maybe even other religions, but just talking from the context of being Christian, it's like, you want to trust God, be like, okay, I'm going to wait on you, I'm going to be patient, do your thing, have your way, I'm going to just sit here. But then the other part is like, stop being lazy, go do something, and like, I gave you all these gifts, go use them. But then the other part is, be patient, wait for the Lord. It's like, wait, right. And then it's like, okay, I know that I might have to do both sometime, but what season am I in to do the waiting or the grinding?
Exactly, yeah. And I was just actually thinking about that recently, because I was listening to E.T., Eric Thomas,
yeah,
and he talked about how, like, you know, vision boards and all that stuff. Like, it's cool, you know, you got your vision board, you doing this, doing that. So he's like, but it's time to grind, though. It's like, forget all that.
Exactly.
So you can have that if you want to, but he's like, man, get out here and grind.
Exactly.
And if you want it, you know, get out here and be persistent, be consistent, do your thing. And so that really was resonating with me at the time. You know, I was thinking, like, that's true. You know, I've done that stuff also, the journaling and all that kind of things, visualizing mentally and all that kind of stuff. But I think at the end of the day, though, it do require work, though. As much as we might say, you know, it can just all come to you because of this, because of that. You probably got to put some work in too.
You absolutely got to put some work in. It's like, and I think that for the majority of Christians that kind of sit back and say, well, I'm waiting on God, I always come with an argument like, okay, God is waiting on you. But then you got somebody like me, and probably you as well, like, we grinding and pushing so hard, and was like, what's up? Like, I've been going hard for years now. Like, I'm waiting.
When's that breakthrough?
Right, when the breakthrough. But then it's like, okay, well, maybe I should just be waiting on God to do it. So then you sit back and then you kind of get into this complacency where it's like borderline lazy, but not all the way lazy. And you start to look at yourself like, man, you ain't doing nothing. Then the other part is like, you ain't waiting on God either. And it's like,
it's definitely confusing.
It's like, very confusing.
Like, sometimes I find myself, I feel like I've done less sometimes lately and got more, but at the same time, like, I feel like I've done less and not gotten enough.
Right, exactly.
So it's very difficult. It's like, I don't know what to do, but just keep on trying. You know? Just keep working at it.
Right, absolutely.
What I haven't done though is like Tyler Perry, you know, slept in the car and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So maybe I haven't put forth all of it. No, I ain't put all the eggs in there yet.
And you know, it's like you hear these like very dramatic stories. But then think about like the thousands of people that have slept in their car
and didn't make it
at all. Exactly. The people that actually said,
and they still sit in their car.
Right, I'm about to sleep in my car because this is how Tyler Perry and I made it. Like, I'm gonna do it like this, and it's like, that's not your story. So it's just like, really, I guess just trusting God. And again, I don't have this figured out. That's why we're talking about it. But it's just like, you gotta go.
Yeah, because one thing I did years ago was take the leap and stuff and stop working and work full time on the business.
Gotcha.
And listen to some podcasts afterwards and stuff, and they made a lot of sense. They was just saying like, sometimes we think we are supposed to lead forward and, you know, and have this faith and stuff like that, but they were saying like, what you should really do is kind of, part-time and stuff and just kind of grow
Yeah.
into your business and things.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, like you said, have that story. Like, you got to feel like you got to have that leap and have that story of
Right.
how I jumped out and I did this and I believed I had that faith in things. It's like,
Exactly.
you could just be smart in things and just do it
Yep,
the right
that's
way.
right.
Very practical in things and pragmatic.
Yeah.
And make sure that you have everything in place before you go to that next step.
That's it. And like you think about like Issa Rae. Like she cold. She a beast.
Mm-hmm.
But she was just doing them YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even thinking like I'm a blow, but she probably started to see them views pick up like,
Yeah.
all right, now it's a possibility something might break.
Oh, yeah.
And then you kind of get closer to it, so you start to kind of feel something happening and you start to really see it. You probably start to get a couple checks from YouTube here and there. She's like, yeah, it's a chance I'm about to blow.
This is it,
You know? And it's like for everybody else, it's like, even me with the show stuff, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, man, I feel like this is a good show. I'm exposing everybody to people they've never heard of. I got a nice little following on Instagram, Facebook. Why ain't nobody watching the doggone videos like that?
Yeah.
And then it's like people say, because I actually put it out on Facebook, I think a couple weeks ago, like, man, I'm thinking about just chalking it up. And I really wasn't going to chalk it up, but I was really just trying to get some engagement, see what people was thinking. Yeah.
The response was, yeah.
All right, so what was interesting is people's like, you got to do the tags, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm like, all that's well and good, but really, what's the secret sauce to really have a whole lot of people viewing your stuff? Because all of these things might have worked for some people, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work exactly the same for me.
Yeah. Like I said, those are little things that could help tags and
Right.
stuff like that. But like you said, like, what's the sauce though? What's the secret?
Right, exactly.
Apparently, people get millions of views.
Exactly,
But
right.
I mean, one thing I learned though is like it does kind of depend on your niche, or like what it is you actually have on YouTube and stuff.
Right.
And timing, of course. There's a lot of factors. But I'm doing a show right now with another guy, indie film screenings.
Oh, nice.
And we get decent views, but what we come to realize, or for me at least, is that like technically we don't have the particular market that's as easily like views and stuff.
Mhm.
Like we're not reviewing big blockbuster movies. Obviously, if you're doing that, you're putting that name up there. People come to that anyway because they want to see it's popular, it's trending.
Gotcha.
Makeup is trending. Fashion. There's a few things that are trending.
It's real trendy, yeah.
Tutorials for different stuff. But so recognizing that it might be difficult for us to actually blow it up necessarily because of what it is,
Right.
but then still keeping true to our roots. Like, well, we're about independent films. We're gonna just keep doing it and figure out ways to tweak it and make it better and stuff to keep the views up as much as possible.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I've been thinking. Like, okay, this is my passion. I really want to continue to do these interviews regardless. Let me just kind of figure out a way. So, like, really, what have you found as being an entrepreneur, being in film, really was like groundbreaking for you, like an aha moment?
No, I think what I'm doing now, really the educational films and things, and then starting to get to some more documentaries. I think recognizing that it's easier to get people behind things and get money raised and stuff, and be able to distribute and all that kind of stuff. Focus on something I actually end up being passionate about, which is like social issues and stuff. So I'm just kind of being in my lane and doing my thing. Like, part of me wants to do some crazy comedy, different dramas and things, but right now I'm in this season where I'm doing these educational films and stuff, and it's like, working out well. And I'm just trying to follow my own path. So I think what I'm saying is like the key really sometimes is doing what you want to do and what you know how to do, and just letting that be that, and not trying to go do the next great thing that you think somebody else is doing, instead of just kind of jumping behind them. And the one thing I was gonna say too about YouTube show is that even with the views not up all crazy and stuff, like it's the exposure though at the same time though.
Right.
So I'm sure like for you and for other people and stuff, sometimes those YouTube shows you have, because technically YouTube is like the second biggest search engine actually right now.
Yeah.
So when you're looking for clients and services and various things like that, trying to get business and stuff, people are finding you through YouTube a lot of times.
That's true, yeah. So it's a great opportunity. So for those that aren't really aware like of this whole film process and all the roles and responsibilities, can you kind of break it down on a high level?
Like they have above the line and below the line. So like your main like director, producers, executive producers, things like that. The people that are kind of more above the line, and those are your main people when it comes to making a movie. And then if it's a big enough budget, you probably got at least another 100 or so folks doing various technical jobs.
That many.
It can be, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Multiple people on cameras, multiple people doing production assistants,
Yeah.
script supervisors, technical advisors. You have set designers, of course, like you said, makeup artists earlier, hair, wardrobe people. So it's quite a few people get involved in the project, and that's what's really so amazing about film too. I think I really like that whole idea of a collaboration too, because really you can't make a film by yourself. I mean, I've tried to some extent, just like me running around with a camera. Well, man, a couple people, but I've done some stuff where it's just like skeleton crew for real, and a lot of people do that. But if you really want a quality product, and if you really want to have a great experience making a film, you got to get as many people involved as possible. It's just much more enjoyable. Everybody has their own little part and role, and that's, to me, kind of like it's kind of magical in a way when you think about how each person has this one particular part or piece of the puzzle, and together you make this whole vision or this whole film and things. And that's the other part that's amazing to me, and just the idea of creating a whole new world too through film. It's just like, so for me, I love filmmaking because it's like you create this whole new world for people to experience, and the emotional component and that collaborational effort where you're getting all these people involved, all doing their thing individually to make up this whole.
Mm-hmm. So out of all the roles that you have ever had, like, what was the funnest?
For me, directing is always the funnest to me. It's the most creative. It's like, it's your vision really, and you have to figure out how you make it all work and stuff. So the director's kind of like the captain of the ship in a way. Like, he's kind of dictating everything. So I need you to do this, you do that, blah, blah, blah. You got your actors and everything. And so definitely love directing.
Do you think that people sometimes confuse directing and producing?
Yeah, I think they confuse producing, period, because producing is just like such a vague, ambiguous like type of term. Like, what is this producer even doing? Like, running around getting paid, and what are they doing exactly? So producing, and then sometimes you might have a director and producer. Like, you might play both roles. I've done that plenty of times.
Gotcha.
Producer's more that person that's either like the money person, or they're pretty much kind of helping put it all together. Especially from like a technical aspect. So usually producing is more so like you've rounded everything together, or you've rounded up the money, or you've done something to that extent. And then directing is more of a visual creativity type of thing.
That makes sense. So who's your favorite producer right now?
Producer would be hard to say. Director, I got a lot of them though. Like right now I'm feeling Christopher Nolan a lot.
And who's that?
He's a director. Christopher Nolan did Batman, Interstellar. He's done quite a few pretty big movies now, but before he got huge, he's done Memento and some other films. Phenomenal director. Of course, Spike's my man. Spike Lee got a new masterclass coming out actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Might get down with his masterclass.
Oh, that'll be dope.
Scorsese. That's a lot. Stanley Kubrick from back in the day has definitely been a big inspiration for me from a directing standpoint.
What movies did he do?
Clockwork Orange. What was another big one? The Shining. Had quite a few movies. All like older, but definitely some great ones there.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of the films, what's your favorite?
Interstellar. Actually, speaking of that one, that's on my top list right now. And The Matrix has always been a huge one for me.
Number one, number two.
As far as The Matrix.
Yeah.
It's always right up there, like number one. Like, and there's so many aspects to it that's just wonderful, but I think it's more so the story that gets me more so with The Matrix. Just that whole idea of like being in another world and stuff, and just control of the machines and everything, and so much double meanings that it seemed like it could have and really play and stuff. So it's.
Do you feel that we're in The Matrix?
I think there could be something like that going on.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah.
I often think about that too. So it's kind of weird.
It definitely resonates with me a lot.
Right. That's cool. All right. So, what would you say inspires you the most?
Sounds like my kids and stuff. Like, probably just seeing films and things that I really enjoy, and things like if I watch one and it really moves me, that inspires me a lot. Like there's this film I watched he was a smaller director. It was somewhat of it wasn't, I don't know if it was, maybe even independent really. I think his name was Daryl Anderson. Requiem for a Dream. This movie just touched me for some reason. I don't even know why exactly. I think it was so many elements that they put into it when they told the story, and just had a lot of visual components in there. Did a lot of great editing. And then the story itself was about addiction. So I never really suffered from addiction or anything like that, so it didn't move me in that way. But there's just something really powerful about the actors and how they portrayed that addiction and just what they were going through. on top of the way he directed everything with the editing and with the flow of it all.
Gotcha.
It just became this visual masterpiece where I'm just sitting there like, wow, I was blown away.
Right.
Like, I mean, a tear comes down my eye like, damn.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
real.
a tear comes down my eye, I'm like, man, I think you did something good.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's so easy and hard at the same time to captivate a crowd when they're watching that film, because you might think it's easy to draw them in with a good story, but like you said, like those camera angles, the zooming in and zooming out, how long you stay at that shot, the music behind it, all that plays a role. Because sometimes it'll be a scene, Steph, and I'll be like, that music wasn't good for that scene. Like, you probably needed something a little bit more upbeat for the scene, or maybe slower, or maybe throw that whole scene away, you know? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
you gotta have the right mix. You're right. Though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you sometimes are watching a film and you get disgusted by certain parts because it's like, from just having that film out, you like, that wasn't right?
Yeah, I've seen plenty of movies like that. Yeah, and then there's one in particular, I hate to even say it because, I got my girl in it and stuff, but Proud Mary was one I just watched recently. I was like, man, that's a shame because it just wasn't good. Really.
Right.
I hated for it not to be good because Taraji, I want her to shine. I love what she does.
Yeah.
And this was a moment for her to be that heroine and things and do her thing as a strong black female. And they messed the whole thing up for her though, man.
So what from your perspective, what was really wrong?
One thing was just the storyline altogether just didn't really flow like it should have.
Okay.
Felt like they tried to use a little bit of this one movie that's really great called Leon the Professional. I felt like they tried to take some stuff from that movie and maybe a couple other movies and kind of combine something. Okay. But it just, the storyline, the plot just was terrible. And then they had a couple scenes that was just so far-fetched where bullets flying over next to her. You got bullets, basically, you have an outline of somebody, bullets all around the whole body and things and stuff. Ain't none of them hit her. Like, come on, man. You're driving this car down the thing and everybody's shooting. There's about 10,000 bullets the whole car. But you fine, though. No, not a scratch.
Right.
It was just too far-fetched, though.
Yeah. And what's that thing called? My wife always tells me, if you had your shirt on right now, and then it's still the same scene. Like you walk into another room, but you can tell it was a different shot. But then now you got a different shirt on as you walk into the room, and it's like
a continuity error?
Continuity. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's major for me. I catch that stuff all the time. Wait a minute. Come on now.
And you'd be surprised. I mean, there are, though. And the biggest movies, though, in a Hollywood movie with
$1
budget,
exactly.
Still got continuity errors.
Yeah. And why is that, though? It's just nobody's really paying attention to it. They overlook it.
I guess even though it got so many eyeballs on it, I guess it still slips through the cracks. And then sometimes it might be that was the best take, so just say forget it and just go with it. Hopefully nobody noticed type of thing.
But noticeable difference, okay, dude is eating a bologna sandwich. They switch and turn to the woman in the kitchen. You get back to the guy, now you got a salami sandwich.
That's bad.
I mean, come on.
So the whole sandwich.
You couldn't remember it was a bologna sandwich?
And they might have, you got a lot of people sitting there writing and things. They got notes and stuff. They got people taking photos to make sure each thing is the same. But still end up being wrong. And this, but big movies like that with budgets and stuff, sometimes just comes down to they run out of money though sometimes.
Okay.
There might be some films that they want to do so much more for it, but then they ran out of money, ran out of time. Studios that's it, cut the plug, no more.
So why does it cost so much? So let's say somebody has a $1 million budget, and right now, Seth, you could say, man, you give me $1 million, I'm gonna do some crazy stuff with it, right? But it's just they get that $1 million and they blow through it. Yeah. What is the major cost? Is it just the labor involved for people that you're hiring?
Yeah, the main things the labor unions and stuff. You got to pay all them different people lots of money and stuff, and then your actors, especially got big actors and things, that's gonna cost you a fortune with the SAG and stuff, and then just the effects and stuff. A lot of movies nowadays have so many visual effects. Most movies just shot all green screen pretty much and things, so you got visual effects editors and all these people getting paid to do that kind of stuff. Gotcha. So it's a lot of work involved.
Yeah, so that $1 million can go pretty quick.
Yeah, and then if you're not doing that, they're still building sets and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, it definitely can take a lot.
Before you know it, you done spent that $1 million.
Yeah. Plus, that's not to mention all the money put in the marketing and everything too. Though.
Yeah.
So a lot of that money goes into all that.
That makes sense. So, speaking of actors, you got the A-list, B-list, C. Is there a D?
Sometimes those ones in my movies, not just kidding. No. Yeah, you got like a D list too. Though.
Okay, so what's like the average cost like for a C?
For a C, per like movie or per?
Yeah, per movie. Let's say they're hiring somebody to do this movie.
It would all kind of depend. They might see about $10,000 or something. I mean, but it would really depend on who the actor was and what the role was and how big the role. If they're like a supporting, the main actor and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's certain minimums though.
Okay.
SAG and stuff that you have to pay a person. Whatever level that they might be actor wise, like there's still a minimum that you have to pay that person.
Oh, seriously?
Like a day rate and stuff. Yeah.
So based on what? Like negotiation with their agent or
based on the union rates.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can negotiate through your agent too to get more money, but there's like a bare minimum that has to be paid if you're in the union though that you can't go under.
Okay, now this particular union, like, is a union classifying you as an A or B?
Not really, no.
Okay, so it's just the union, period.
Yeah, the union just says you can't pay anything less to anybody that's in this union.
Gotcha.
But like somebody that's like an A actress or A actor, that's more of an agent, like you said, negotiating that how much they're gonna give.
Gotcha. Now, are there different unions? So is it like a A-list union that you get into that you're like, okay, well, I'm with this union, I'm definitely gonna get
Not
more
that
of
I'm aware of. Yeah, I think it's all just under SAG, really. Unless there is some kind of extra special.
Now, what's SAG? What does that mean?
It's just the Screen Actors Guild.
Okay.
So that's their particular union. So you have to do a certain amount of films to get into that union. Then you pay your monthly dues, or maybe it's annual dues, maybe even.
Gotcha. Okay.
But once you're in that union, you can't take jobs that aren't really union movies and stuff. There had to be a SAG movie for you to be a part of it. But I've talked to actors that are part of that, and they say it's great though. I mean, they travel and go to different movies and stuff, and get paid a certain amount of money, and you just don't have to worry about being that starving artist.
Gotcha.
Because, you're getting paid X amount of dollars to be on that set.
Okay, that makes sense. So, when you look at yourself, and really take some time to think about this question, what are you most impressed with about yourself?
I would say probably my stick-to-itness there, I guess I would say there. The fact that I do keep at it, not giving up really, and just having that dream in sight there, the vision, and keep pressing forward really. So I think I was most impressed with the fact that I haven't given up and like just gone to go work at Bed Bath & Beyond or something.
Right.
Stuck with the goal and the dream and things, and just been ambitious from really most of my life, really. But even still now. Always trying to figure out how I'm going to perfect the craft and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Now, I like this question and I'm about to ask you because let's say 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you blow up. They're going to look back on the Manny Hall show and say, man, he asked that one question. Wow, like, look at him. All right, so here we go. What do you really want to see yourself, let's say, in the next 3 to 5 years?
Next 3 to 5 years. So right now I'm doing a lot of educational films, and I'm really looking to create something that's going to be a network really for those films, things where schools can really come and utilize those films and stuff. So kind of creating like a library of sorts for social issue films. So once I kind of get that all situated really and have that running, flowing the way I envision it, really then I do see myself doing some films that are more still independent but bigger budget, theatrical, million and up type stuff, psychological thrillers and things. So.
That makes sense. And like, how dope would it be instead of in a classroom setting, instead of using a book, they watch one of your videos?
Yeah, that's
and then they really like learn as much as they would have out of a book. That'd be dope.
That's definitely the goal there. Yeah, but this next film, that's what we're trying to really do. Well, it's gonna be combined a curriculum and a film.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's definitely the goal. Is like they watch that and learn from it, and then go through that curriculum and stuff and really gain the knowledge and information on this particular movie on eating disorders.
Yeah, that's good. So what's next?
So yeah, that's coming up this summer. We're gonna work on that eating disorder movie. Also in the middle of putting together a documentary on suicide. So those are my main two babies there, my two projects there is getting this eating disorder movie going. It's gonna be it's gonna be a narrative type of storyline of three people that are following around and they have these different eating disorders. And then as far as the documentary, it's just a straight documentary talking about teen suicide.
And what made you want to start looking more in these educational videos, and like are these like personal passions of yours or just things that you kind of observe from the outside looking in that you know that there's some help that's needed?
I think I've always been drawn towards certain things. Personal development's been one that's been really big for me, like growth and personal development, spirituality and stuff. And then also just those social issues and stuff. So I've seen, like you said, things that take place in the world, and I'm thinking like, I could probably do something to be a part of that change, the positive way. So really, I think it's just been, I thought about, I do films, that's cool. It's like, what can I do with these films to really be inspiring and make a difference? And so I just happen to do, like bullying movies, domestic violence stuff. So I've really touched on some issues already, and I'm planning on doing a lot more too, along different lines and in different situations. And so once, like I said, I get that really to where I feel like I've done a complete library of different films and different topics that could be very useful and utilized well, then I would definitely get into some more, I wouldn't say just fun, but entertainment really,
Yeah.
Like, so I always try to find this balance between entertainment and education for now, for sure, more so education. But then as I further in my career, I do see myself getting tilting the scale a little bit to more entertainment, but then still definitely having that educational, just that mental component there where people can really get something out of that there.
That makes sense. All right, so as we wrap up, you got any last words?
I'll probably just I'll just say same thing I say to my son every day before school, and he says to me, he said when I got on my way here, do your best, don't settle for less.
I love it. All right, Manny Hart Show, we out. Peace.